Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Startup Bulgaria webinar. This time we are again surprising you, going 2 times per week. So it will be Monday series and Thursday series. And today we have a very special guest, which is Orlin from Ampeco. Hi, Orlin. Nice to see you here.
Nice to see you.
Great. Thanks for. In a second, we're going to come back to you, and we're going to tell you a bit about your background and get some perspectives on serial entrepreneurship and electromobility from you. Before that, I just want to make a short announcement to everyone. As you have hopefully understood by now, November 8th till 10th, we're going to meet at the Sofia Event Center, and we are going to build the first biggest national startup conference. We are expecting around 2,000 people on the ground. We're going to have many sessions. We're going to have a webinar. We're going to have a hackathon. We're going to have many workshops. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we can see as many of you as possible in person at the Sofia Event Center. So for those of you who still haven't joined our Viber group, Viber is one of the official sponsors, and what you can see here is a QR code that you can scan, and you can easily become part of the official Viber channel we have. So generally there we are posting different messages, important updates. You can see some important guests, and then of course, whenever we release discounts or launch a subscription for the new part of the conference, that's what you can find there. We promise we don't spam. We just send the relevant, necessary information. So just go ahead, join the group, and also during the days of the conference, this is going to be the official channel. So ideally, you want to be part of the group, as there we'll be announcing at every hour what are the sessions that are starting, where are they starting, so that you can go to the right session that's of highest interest to you. Great. So now that we have Orlin here, I would like to start with several questions towards him. So for those of you who still don't know, Orlin, most probably you're going to go on LinkedIn and you're going to see that he's a serial entrepreneur. He has co-founded, and has been a CEO of multiple businesses. And over the last 6 years, he's been working very hard on launching Ampeco, and they have a tremendous success worldwide. With in a second, I guess the numbers are updating all the time. So in a second, you'll correct me. But last time we were talking, I think you were charging more than 10,000 electric stations, or like charging station for electric vehicles. So really, really happy to meet you here, Orlin. And my first question would be: after so many successes and so many startups, what keeps driving you to be launching new businesses?
Well, I first of all, I'm so glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to the conference. I've started my first company when I was still in high school, and it was with Alex, who is our CTO at Ampeco. So I've very early on got to experience what it is to be an entrepreneur, and it stuck with me. And over the years, I've co-founded other companies, being in different roles, leading. Or following the main founder and taking care of product or organization. I think everything before though has been more of a preparation to what came with Ampeco. It was me learning how to bootstrap a business, how to lead a business, how to do product. So these are things that I took as learnings, and when the opportunity presented itself, and the challenge that I thought was big enough and significant enough for me to really embark on something that's going to be the one thing. This is where I started Ampeco, and for me, for the past 6 years, this has been the thing that I devote my time to, and is the only business that I'm involved in at the moment.
Nice. And you said that every business was kind of a preparation for this one thing that came right now. I mean, I was going to say, as a serial entrepreneur, I'm sure that you gathered a lot of experience, and that every time it was getting easier. But what was the biggest challenge when you decided to start a company on electromobility?
Maybe just before I answer it, just go back, and I wanted just to comment on the successes, because by the way, it's been mostly failures before that. So
Yeah.
just to be clear and set the scene right for everyone that's doing this and starting, the chances of having a success in a startup are much slimmer, but the gratification when you do achieve this is amazing. So, but also the failures. I mean, it's there's a measure of failure. You fail, but you learn. You fail, but you grow. So all of this has prepared me, and mostly the failures, I would say. And then when it comes to difficulties, in starting a business in EV charging, when I was an outsider to the industry, that was the biggest difficulty. The first year at Ampeco for me was getting to understand the industry, the specifics of the technology involved in this, and to build a network in an industry where I really was an outsider. When we started the company, I didn't have any previous background in EV charging, or even more widely, more broadly in mobility. So, getting to from an outsider to an insider now to someone that's actually leading the industry, this has been a tremendous growth. And at the beginning, it was mostly the difficulty was mostly getting to understand we are doing in this industry, what the specifics of the industry are, and creating a network of people who actually we can learn from and gather insights from. This was quite challenging, especially when doing this from Bulgaria. We didn't start from the market that's most ripe for what we are doing. So we had to go to another market and create our network there and learn from the people that already have been doing what we set out to do. So this was quite a challenge.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it was quite a challenge, and it's really good that you're sharing that. Maybe for everyone who is right now wondering, um, like they feel like outsiders of an industry, what they would like to kind of tackle a new industry or join a new industry, what would be your best tips for getting the right connections and like for just building this network that back then you were missing and that many of the people watching now maybe are missing in the future industry that they want to develop in?
Well, the first thing is, I mean, it's very important to to know that on many occasions it's outsiders that have really revolutionized an industry. Usually, when you talk about big leaps, like if you're doing evolution, it happens from people that are very well aware of the specifics of the industry, of the technology, and so on. But when you're doing big leaps, usually these are driven by people who have the naivety of entering an industry and thinking they can do much better, far better than what's been done before. If you take Elon Musk and rocket ships or even electric cars, I mean, if you look at the backgrounds of people who have been able to really move an industry far from, I mean, with big jumps, very often you would see that these are people that have been outsiders when they started. So the first realization is, I mean, you shouldn't feel too overwhelmed by this or discouraged. So just know that actually this may be your best and your biggest advantage is that you don't have the weight of knowing everything and what doesn't work, so that you can do some of the things that are not supposed to work, but they do eventually. Then obviously you do need to get yourself familiar. I mean, the way we did was we tried to meet as many people as possible that are relevant, that have this knowledge, and just pick their brains, try to download some of their knowledge and use it. Not as something that we take as a universal truth or something that's necessarily the full picture, but as things that we get together and we analyze and we build our own knowledge and our own understanding. But yeah, getting to talk to people that know and that understand and getting some advice, mentorship, this helps a lot.
Got it. Okay, very helpful. And then you also mentioned that in the previous ventures or startups you had, you were also working with your current CTO. So when you were founding Ampeco, how did you decide if you want to build it on your own or if you want to go with co-founders? And how did you select the right co-founders for that?
I've always been I've never been a solo entrepreneur. I mean, I've always tend to lean on co-founders as someone to bring balance, to bring competence in certain areas that I'm lacking, or to compensate for some of my weaker traits, and to bring us up by bringing traits that are valuable, but I don't necessarily have. So I've always I wouldn't have done this alone. That's for sure. But when I started on Ampeco, actually, I started the company with a unusual big number of co-founders. We are co-founders at Ampeco, and almost all I've known for a long time, and I've worked with in previous ventures. And together they brought the missing puzzle pieces that I thought we needed in order to make this work. I think when you're doing business with someone else, with co-founders, you necessarily have to compromise, and learning how to compromise and being good at compromise actually is a very important, while at the same time progressing and achieving big things. It's a very important trait of any leader, especially an entrepreneur, because in the as you go forward and you do your business and you grow your company, you would always have to navigate relationships, whether it's with key customers, investors, whether it's other, partners, whether they're not business partners, but partners of the company. The ability to achieve yours, but at the same time also learn and compromise and work together with others is actually a very strong personal trait. And I think working with co-founders is something that has helped me grow and be better, and has been part of what makes it work for Ampeco.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's extremely valuable on how we can decide how to select the right co-founders, right? Like building the trust, but at the same time looking for complementary skills. And then you already mentioned that you are leading the way in the industry right now. So what's the ambition from now on, right? Like you're already one of the leaders. So what's next, kind of?
Well, we've just gotten to the point where we start to be recognized as a leader in this particular space that we occupy, and next couple of years it's about cementing this leadership position and really expanding in Europe first, which is our main market at the moment, but also globally. We already have significant presence in the States. We have customers actually in 60 countries, so it's not just a European business already. It's already a global business, but getting to this leadership position and being able to set the pace and the trends is what's on our focus for the next few years.
Got it. Okay, and then maybe I'm sure that kind of doing business globally has many challenges and many difficulties. Can you give us probably we want to learn from you as a successful founder how you normally take decisions. So can you give us an example for a difficult decision you have to make, and how did you go about making the decision?
I think there's as a founder, you have one of the things you have to do is make decisions and not delay them. One important lesson that I've learned from people that I look at for examples of how things are done is that it's decisions are not final and are much easier to be reversed than you think. So delaying a decision and not taking action is usually much bigger of a problem than to make a decision, turns out it's not the right one, and then reverse it. It's actually so easy to reverse decisions, and you shouldn't be so afraid to do so. You shouldn't delay, especially difficult ones. You shouldn't delay those. You have what you have in terms of information, in terms of facts that you can use in your decision making. But what's more important is, as an entrepreneur, as a leader of an organization, you're tasked with making the decisions, especially when they're difficult, and delaying them or being slow to act is usually more damaging than actually making a decision that may turn out not to be the right one. Because there's very few decisions in business that are not reversible, and there's no harm in many cases to make a decision and quickly reverse it when new information presents. And often this is the missing part that you didn't know before, and you had no way to gather it by just waiting it out or delaying. And the only way to really know whether it works out or not is to make a decision. So my biggest learning here is know that you have to move fast, make the decisions, don't be afraid to reverse them when they're wrong.
Got it. And then maybe one final question that would be very interesting, and that we are asking everyone who is going to be a lecturer at Startup Bulgaria. So many people maybe right now are just considering if they should start a business, or they made first steps, but they are not as far as you are right now as a work leader. So what would you be your advice to someone who is just starting right now to build their own startup?
It's it's a tough one. I mean, because you have to know the circumstances to give advice. So I'm very careful not to give generic advice, because when it's generic, it's usually not so useful. Without being able to appreciate the circumstances that form one's own situation. But I would say, for me personally,
Yeah.
whenever I've been in doubt, taking action is usually has turned out to be the right thing. Goes also a little bit back to what I just said before. I mean, you have to move forward, and you have the ability to adapt. Nothing is final. So put fear away, and also don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. You'll be surprised how much you can take on when you make the step. So make the step. That's what I can say.
Great. Okay, that's very valuable, Lynn. Thanks for sharing that and for joining us today. We're going to hear even more from you at the conference. We have a special session with you. Uh, Apparently, there are so many things: serial entrepreneurship, electromobility, bootstrapping, dealing with investors, taking decisions, and so on. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be an amazing session. Thank you very much once again for taking the time on a Monday. We appreciate how how busy it is for you, especially managing a global business out of Bulgaria. So highly appreciate your time, and we'll see you in November at the conference.
Yes, you all.
Thank you. Okay, so now we would like to continue with several announcements for those of you who still haven't. What you can do, we mentioned several times, we have the opportunity to pitch your business in front of investors. So it's very simple. The only thing you have to do is apply. Just go to the website, and there you'll see the form, the application form that's called Impress the Investors. We're asking for very little information, kind of like apparently some contact data, so that we can get back in touch with you, and we're asking for a basic description of your business or business idea and the stage where you're at. You can also, if you want to, you can submit a pitch deck, but you don't have to at this stage. What we are doing right now here is just we are we are looking at the different projects that are being submitted, and we're trying to match you to some of the investors that are joining. Because one thing we want to avoid is, for example, that if your idea is just like an idea, of course, it's valuable to get some feedback. But if we put you in front of Series A investors, most probably it's not going to be such a productive conversation. The other way around, if you are already for Series A and we match you with a business angel, most probably it's not going to be the greatest match, because maybe the business angel rather wants to work with you, co-design with you, brainstorm with you, and that's where you don't want to. You generally like if you're much further and you just need more capital in order to scale your business, that's where you don't want to be kind of in the wrong room. So that's why we need this short description of your business. I mean, it's all. Don't worry, like we're treating everything confidentially, sharing it only with the investors. Apparently, again, no need for big pitch decks or anything. Like if you have them, great. If you don't have them, just short description of the idea and what stage you're at will be enough. Just apply here, and our team will be very soon getting back to you to discuss more details if you've been pre-selected, and to discuss more details around your participation. So that was the short announcement here for the investor pitches. And I think we have, as usual, our statistics from surveys we've done. So last time we were sharing with you, or over the last series, we were sharing with you, on the one hand, what investors need, or what investors are looking for in a startup. If you remember, I had interviewed around 100 investors from the Harvard Business School, from the incubator, that are normally like co-mentoring together with me at the incubator. So we ask them what are the different, or what are the dimensions most important to them when they look in a startup, when they decide if they want to invest. And there were different categories. Some of them were looking for the idea. For the others, the most important thing was the team, that they have the right experience. For what we just saw, for example, now with Orlin, he has so much experience because he's built so many ventures. Others were looking at the execution. Is the team actually working on it? Are they making things happen? Then you had the commitment. So is someone, for example, fully working on it? Did they get the investment? Maybe they invested their own money, which makes the commitment even bigger. Then many of them were looking into the capital. Apparently, capital for investors doesn't matter that much because they're saying if it's only about capital, we'll provide the capital. And competitive advantage, is the business protected somehow? Is there intellectual property, or are there any, for example, deep tech know-how that not everyone can replicate? So these were the things. And then if you remember last time, we were also mentioning some statistics where we're saying we asked many foreigners who have worked with Bulgarians what were the different qualities that Bulgarians exhibit when collaborating. And I mean, you can see that here it comes as an ego boost to our fellow Bulgarians. Apparently, we are normally described with very high reliability, people who are very happy to help all the time and like always ready to even like sacrifice their progress so that they can help someone else. Working very hard and completing things. And here we just wanted to once again draw the parallel that if you see on the left side, you can see that execution was definitely rated as the most important skill people would have. And on the right side, you would have skills that are actually very close or very relatable to execution. These are the reliability. I mean, apparently working hard and completing things. So these are all actually things that can demonstrate on investor that you have this execution passion or execution thing going on, and apparently you're going to be a great executor of the idea that you're working on. So like I said, we just found this is an interesting statistic that you would like to have a look at and that we wanted to share. There is more in the previous webinars, and very soon we'll be publishing all of this content, I mean, on YouTube in my channel, but also at the website, so that you can browse through the different pieces of statistics and you can kind of make your own conclusions. Also, if you're interested in getting the results from this survey, let me know and we can share the entire results with you. And then, Vili, I think we have one announcement about the giveaway that I'll let you make again.
All right.
I always keep forgetting. Yeah, here it is.
Okay. For those of you who hasn't participated yet, you can check out our latest giveaway. The question is there. You can also find it in the comment section, in the description. I mean, you just need to answer the question and to tag two of your friends, and we're gonna see our winner next Thursday. And for answering the question, you should definitely check our website. This will
Exactly.
help you. And
Great.
good luck.
Thank you, Willie. And yeah, I see that we are making these questions kind of relatively easy to answer. So this week we are looking for of the partners that we have. As you know, we are collaborating with so many partners that are different entrepreneurial communities, universities, schools, especially having in mind that today is the first day from school, like where everyone's going back to school. So just check the communication channels of all of these communities because they might be having some special conditions for you to join the conference. So whatever community you belong to, just check their communication. And sometimes it's a newsletter, sometimes it's a website, sometimes it's a Facebook group or anything else. And there you might find more information about the conference and the special conditions that they will be providing to you. And I think, as similar to last time, I forgot the most important thing for those of you who still haven't understood. The biggest part of the conference is going to happen at the Sofia Event Center. So for those of you who still haven't seen the video, you can go check it out. Here we are mentioning different the advantages, right? Apparently, we're going to have huge space for the conference, 3,600 square meters. We're going to have many rooms so that we can do lectures, we can do workshops, we can do hackathon, we can do a lot of networking. We're going to have also many different surprises for you. So just make sure you get your ticket and you join us in November. 8th till 10th of November, Sofia Event Center will be, like I said, one of the main locations. Very soon we'll be announcing additional locations where some of the sub-sessions will be taking place. So I think that's everything we wanted to announce for today, Vili, right?
Yes,
And
that's for today.
exactly, very soon we're going to have the next webinar. We are announcing it a little bit later today, so you have an opportunity to sign up for it, to join us and learn even more statistics and more insights for some of the exciting and inspiring lecturers we're going to have in November. So thank you very much, everyone. Wishing you a great week. For everyone who's going back to school, wishing you a very successful beginning of the year, and we'll see you very soon on Thursday.
See you next Thursday.